Smoke meat.
No chemicals or preservatives, just 100% honest to goodness hickory smoked meat.
Let's put another shrimp on the barbie.
Boy, some chicken wings have really hit the spot.
You ain't got no better food like some chicken wings, some baby back ribs, some fries or something?
That's just two guys talking, am I right? We're just talking.
Hey, howdy, hey. Oh, that was cute. I liked that.
We synced that up good.
We didn't even plan that.
No, we were frantically watching the roll go.
No, it's your turn.
It's you. No, it's me.
Yeah. Welcome to the #1 barbecue podcast in the northern Utah area. Still the undisputed heavyweight champion of northern Utah barbecue podcasts. I think that's safe to say.
I do too. Feels good.
Yeah.
That's what we need behind us. We need like a podcast championship.
That would be kind of a fun shirt. Like undisputed heavyweight barbecue champ.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I got some ideas. I'm Mike here with John. And thanks for tuning in, guys. This has been really fun. And it'd be awkward if nobody ever listened. So
I know.
Yeah.
Haley even got caught up this week.
Oh.
She may be one episode behind.
Yeah. That's where Whitney is too. She's got all caught up. I'm so proud. I think they listen because they love us. But it still means something.
Everybody that does listen knows I've been giving Haley grief on the show for
a
while. And she listened to them like back to back.
Ooh.
And it was...
How was that?
It was an uncomfortable day at the Hayden household. I do too, listen.
That's, man, every time I say anything about Whitney, she's like, you make me sound like a witch. I'm like, I thought it was, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I will back Mike up. Whitney is a very nice person.
She is indeed.
Kind, generous, caring, compassionate.
And hot.
Well,
you don't have to back me up on
I wasn't
that.
going to say that.
I have to, you know.
You get to, Mike.
I get to. Yeah, that came across.
This might be the one and only time that we edit something out of the Fat Guys podcast. Mike,
I mean, I have to because I'm so overcome with.
I'll make sure the trailer's unlocked for you.
Thank you. I'll be over. I'll bring my bag. What's been going on, John?
A whole lot of nothing.
Yeah?
Yeah, I made the decision to leave my last job, which is, I thought I was just going to take a break. I was like, you know what? It's been a long time. A couple of things were going on that just didn't sit right with me. So I took a break and I said, April is going to be the month of me.
Yeah.
And what I've come to learn about me is, holy cow, I can't handle being out of work.
Back.
I think everyone's ready to just like throw me out of the house. They're like, go do something. But I started. Can I just tell you, I had no idea how expensive steel is.
That's right.
I was like all pumped up. I was going to work on the offset. Big 500-gallon beauty. And then I started looking at the plans. I need 5 4x8 sheets of 1/4-inch steel. So I need 4 1/4-inch pieces of steel plywood.
Yeah.
They're like $330 a piece.
Oh my gosh, dude.
I was like,
Not to mention they're crazy heavy and.
yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. So, I'm now sourcing steel plate off of KSL and Facebook Marketplace looking for stuff.
There you
So
go.
if you've got large...
Did you know you can also go through the scrap bin at IPACO? I mean, you're not going to get a whole plate, but you might find the pieces you need
Maybe.
after years of
Yeah, that's
scavenging.
And I mean, I could obviously like weld things together. But some of the pieces I need, like I think the smallest piece I need is 31 inches wide.
How big's the firebox?
It's massive.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
So could you just, I've seen things where like they cut the tank in thirds.
Yeah, I've thought about doing that. There are actually some fuel tanks on Facebook Marketplace right now.
Oh, yeah,
that I was
okay.
looking at, but it sounds like most of those are pretty thin gauge. So that's the one hard part is like you don't want to skimp out on your firebox.
Right.
One, because you'll lose a lot of heat, and if you go too thin, like you'll just burn straight through it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
But I was just gonna look here at the plans.
Yeah, that is while you're finding those. That is kind of a place where I had a hard time trying to decide what to do, and I ended up just taking two 50-gallon drums and thinking I'll replace this later. And it's fine, but I can't help but think how much more efficient it would be had I, used thicker gauge steel and stuff.
Yeah, look, that may be where I end up. But this is 34.5 deep, 38.5 wide, and 30 inches tall.
Golly.
I mean, it's a
real
big
deal.
thing. I mean, they kind of talk about like it needs to be a third of the size of the cooking chamber.
Yeah, and that's a big old cooking chamber.
Or maybe it's half the size of the cooking chamber. I don't remember what the ratios are.
I think I heard third, but I think
Yeah.
I've also seen all kinds of things,
But yeah, to your point, like I've considered that like maybe I should just lop part of the tank off and drop that and
Yeah.
roll with it and see how it does. But I don't want to do that.
Well, and it's hard because it's a great opportunity to make an awesome smoker, and you don't want to like half-heartedly, which is not what I would normally say, but like just kind of cheap out on it
Yeah.
and have to
But
fix it later.
it does make sense. I had always thought like, holy cow, these things are so expensive. Like a 500-gallon smoker on a trailer, that's easy 15, 20 grand.
Oh, at least, yeah.
And I was like, oh man, these people are just like I'll build one. It'll be cheaper than that. I'm definitely going to be cheaper than that, but you start to realize and you start thinking about the weights. That I bought that trailer.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm thinking, oh, it's 1,000-pound.
Yeah, did we talk about that on here?
I don't know if we did or not,
Yeah.
but I bought a.
That was wild.
Yeah, I bought a trailer and it was 1,000. Like it's a 3,500-pound axle, and I was like, that's great. Like it's gonna be it's 1,000-pound tank, and we'll put a firebox on it, and I'll still have plenty of weight to carry a bunch of wood around with me. 5 sheets of steel plate, like I'm starting to get nervous. Like, so
Yeah.
if anyone's interested, I've got a trailer that I'll make you a heck of a deal on because I got a killer deal on it. So
Could you tow it behind a Civic?
the way it is right now, you probably could if you had a hitch.
Where it's like no deck, no nothing?
Yeah, it used to be a camper, and they scraped that off. They were going to turn it into a flatbed trailer, and never got around to it. It's got brakes on it, but yeah.
Needs a little more reinforcing.
If
on the
somebody
floor.
wanted to make a trailer out of this, it would be a killer trailer.
Yeah.
So if you're interested, hit me up because I will definitely hook you up on a deal.
There you go.
So, yeah, so that's what I've been doing.
That's
Just
kind of a bummer.
dreaming about smokers, and
Yeah.
I have been cooking a lot more.
Yeah.
So,
I'm a little jelly.
yeah,
That's awesome.
my dad, actually, my aunt's in town. It's her birthday. Shout out to you, Aunt Candy.
Happy birthday, Candy.
And we did ribs for her. I say we, all I did was season them and put them on the grill. And my dad took care of the rest of them, but they were
Nice.
good tonight.
Pretty bomb, though.
Yeah, they were like falling off the bone, which is not a competition rib, but for eating at home backyard.
Dude, I prefer it. Like, I really like the tender, just pull
Yeah.
the bone out.
Oh, like these, like I was trying to cut them into ribs, and I just started pulling bones out and chopping meat.
I love that.
But we did it with baked potatoes. So I took a baked potato, butter, cheese, sour cream, and just buried it in meat and
Oh, that sounds
loaded
good.
baked potato style, man.
That sounds way good.
Cash money.
Dude, next time we do a baked potato bar or something, that's what we need.
Yeah.
I like it.
So I was a big fan of that. But what about you? I saw something on your personal Instagram
Yes.
about you at a farm.
Yeah. Yep. So I'm trying to earn the respect of my father-in-law. Not really. He is My father-in-law is a stud, and he has hooked me up. Like I've talked about him on here. He did most of my smoker build. He did a lot of it because he's a really good welder and fabricator and stuff. But he's a farmer, and he's basically ran that farm by himself for 30 or 40 years, just a little dry farm. I mean, his dad obviously helped him until he got old, but he's starting to get to where he needs a little help, and I love it because I've been asking him how I can help for I've been in the family for 14 years now, and I don't want it to come off as I need you to pay me. I just want to be a part of it, and enjoy it. And it's always kind of been yeah, I can do it faster myself, which he can, and he still can, but he's getting to where he's I think I need a little help. So
back to the Ron Swanson.
Yeah, exactly.
I know more than you do.
I think it's really frustrating. He had surgery on his shoulder a few years ago, and I was trying to stick weld an implement for him that had broken. And I think he almost he was very patient with me, but I think it was killing him. Dude, seriously? Just weld it together. I'd never used a stick welder before, so I'm over there tink, tink, tink. I don't know.
Yeah, stick welding's...
So,
I think stick welding may be one of the hardest things to do.
I mean,
clean.
I sure think so, man. I've gotten okay at the wire feed welder where I can kind of make it work, but stick welding, dude.
Yeah, you gotta strike your arc and then hold it in the right place.
And it always just looks like a hot mess whenever I do it, and then he'll do it, and it's just a beautiful, bead. And anyway,
sounds like my father-in-law.
Yeah.
He's so good at that stuff.
It drives me. I try so hard not to be a disappointment, but I think every time I come over, he's just all right, man. But anyway.
Whitney, please take your husband somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly. Seriously, man. But yeah, been doing that. I was telling you earlier, teaching in April, man, it's tough. I've got kids that are still being little jerkety jerk faces, and I'm just kind of dude, it's April. If you haven't figured it out by now, I don't know what to do for you. So patience and motivation are kind of getting to an all-time low for both teacher and student because we both know the end is near. So yeah, but it'll be good.
Yeah,
it's been a good year for sure, but I'm excited for summer. Weather's finally getting good. Hopefully we'll be cooking a lot more.
So one of the things that I have done is I bought a hammock and set that up in my backyard the other day.
Ooh.
And I went out there and I was working on a couple of things. I had my laptop and was sitting there, and I fell asleep, dude. Just out in the hammock. The sun was just peeking out, starting to warm me up.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah. Haley had been out doing something. She picked up the boys and came home and was where is he? She's got, find my iPhone or whatever. Uh-huh. She's it says he's here. His truck's here. All of the four-wheelers are here.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, highly recommend a hammock if you don't have one.
I do have one, and I quite enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need a big boy hammock, though.
Yes, I did buy a big boy hammock.
Yeah. It's 2 people could fit in this. Nah, dude. Nah, but I can.
Well, I bought it, and I was oh, that'd be fun. Haley and I can go out there and, hang out together and talk. And, I got in, and I was yeah, there's no room for her here.
Whitney gets in, but mine's on a stand. And so when you lay down on it, it's kind of and I'm you may want to vacate.
So we've got a little pergola thing in the backyard.
Oh, yeah.
That it's the posts are 4x4s. Mm-hmm. And nothing's happened yet. But you get into it and the whole thing kind of
oh, shoot. That's awesome.
It's terrifying. So yeah, if I can't walk one day, it's because I fell out of my hammock onto the uneven pavers that are underneath it. So,
oh, shit.
Oh, but we were texting. Was that just last night?
Yeah,
something like that. About
I don't know.
We needed to have a show topic. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna talk about? And you had a really good idea.
Yeah.
Or maybe Whitney had a really good idea that you repeated to me.
It was 100% Whitney's idea. That girl, dude, she can come up with topics like that, and they're pretty good.
If only she'd come on the show.
That's what I said. But I was also told I'm not allowed to plug that anymore. So,
Well, not one single soul backed us up and said, hey, we want the girls on.
you jerks.
So we just looked like fools.
No. Well, that's fair.
Fools, I tell you.
We look like fools anyway. I need to stop playing with this. I'm going to break your camera lens cover thing. So we were thinking, we love barbecue, and we always talk about how great it is and how it's our favorite thing and how it helps us come together, and there's a community there and stuff. However, there is, one might say, a dark side to barbecue. Dirty side?
It's definitely dirty.
Yeah. A little bit of both. So today I thought we could just kind of share some of the things that we don't love. The kind of behind the scenes part, I guess.
The what do we hate about barbecue episode.
Yeah, exactly. That could be a good clickbait thing. This is why we hate barbecue.
I guess we know what the title of this episode is.
Heyo.
Yeah. I've got a couple of things on my list.
As do I. Do you want to go first? Maybe we can alternate, or do you want to just do all yours and all mine? Yeah.
I hate the dishes.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't seem like there should be a lot of dishes in barbecue. But there's cutting boards, knives. And the worst part about it is, at least most of the time when I'm cooking, I'm not using like a little chop up a bell pepper cutting board. I've got, an 18 by 24 inch piece of plastic that I use, and, big wood cutting boards, and like that doesn't go in the dishwasher.
And not just that, but if you're got juice or you're trying to dust it off, like chances are it's going to be all over the cupboard.
Yeah, it's all over the counter.
Clorox all over that.
Yeah. So I'm not a big fan of the dishes. Especially because barbecue's like, while it is easy, there's no lack of work that goes into it.
Yeah, for sure.
We've talked a lot about prep and, cleaning grills and all of these things that you have to do ahead of it to get ready. You've got all of that stuff on the back end too.
Yeah.
So,
right.
And most of the time when I'm cooking a big chunk of meat, it's not just for me and my family.
Right.
Every once in a while it is, but at a minimum it's, over to my parents' house or, getting together with a group of people. So there's prep it, cook it, babysit it for 18 hours, and then go and do something for, 3 or 4 hours, and then come back and like the kitchen's just like a mess and even if you clean as you go, pulling that piece of meat off and carving it and all the juices that are everywhere and the extra seasoning and the sauce and, There can be a ton of dishes and work after the fact that I don't think many people think about.
Oh.
Because for them, it's look at it, smell it, taste it, eat it.
Yum, yum.
Throw their paper plate away.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
a ton of after work, just like there is prep work.
And I've had a couple of times where it's been over at my mom's or somewhere else, and so we'll throw it in a dry cooler to rest anyway, take it over there, and then I forget about that on the way home.
Oh, man.
So a couple days later I go out in my garage and I'm like, crap! And I bust it open and it's, grease and juice and...
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's one thing that I've learned. Like, if I don't do those dishes right after I do it, like, it's not going to happen.
It's gross and, yeah. Yep.
And of all the
exactly
things that can cause contention in a marriage... dirty dishes are the one that Haley and I, from the very beginning, it was like I'm not going to do those dishes. Like, how long is the sink going to pile
like
up?
A standoff. Yeah. We've been there for sure.
Did you guys live in Aggie Village?
No, we never lived on campus.
Yeah. So we lived in the married dorms. And I think a lot of people are, that went to Utah State did. There are no dishwashers there.
Oh, I've heard that.
Yeah, they're Like these things were built like in the 60s.
Yeah, all cinder block, right?
All cinder block. The dryer is out on the patio.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the gas hookup for the dryer is out on the patio,
Nice.
which if anyone knows anything about what half of our year is here, we're not allowed to talk about the weather, but
I was going to say that's miserable.
Google the average temperature in January in Logan, Utah.
Yeah.
And
Jeez.
that's even like up on the bench a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the washer is in the bathroom.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy cow. For all the units?
Yeah, all the Aggie Village ones.
That's crazy.
Which I mean, it's great because you've got like this little pedestal sink and no counter space, so it's nice to have the washer there. But
Yeah, if it's a front loader, if it's a top loader, not so much.
yeah, there was no room for a dishwasher. I mean, we were poor as poor could be, and I mean, we had a long conversation about like getting one of those like countertop portable dishwashers. Like, I think this will be really good for our marriage if we buy one of these. And we never did. But
Oh, that's awesome.
so that's my first one. I freaking hate the dishes.
Oh, and like you said, it's over and over again. Like,
And
you
it's
don't want to cross-contaminate, so you're washing the
Yeah.
tongs, like, frequently, and...
And it's greasy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is not like just wipe it out quick. Like, this is get your Scrub Daddy. Great product placement again.
Hey, not a sponsor yet.
Yeah, get your Scrub Daddy, get the Dawn, get the water scalding hot. Like, you've got to clean
Gotta
this.
break
You
it
can't
down
just
and
rinse
rinse it
something
off
off.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And then your whole sink is greasy, and it's greasy around it, so you... Once you're done with the dishes, I feel like you have to wash the sink and
Yeah,
the
you gotta-
counter again, and yeah, I'm with you.
So, yeah, that's first on my list.
All right. Now my first one is, I mean, there's a little bit to it because now I don't mind this so much. In fact, I kind of think it's fascinating and I really like to do it. But the first time that I had to like, I don't know how to say this without sounding like a pansy, so I'm just going to say it.
Just say it, man.
The first time I had to trim raw meat, I was freaked out. Like when I had to tear the membrane off a slab of
your
ribs for the first time, I was like, ugh! Like again, since it's not a big deal and it's just like whatever, but it was kind of gross. And when you trim all that and then you put it in your garbage can, if you don't take that garbage can out, dude, in the next day or two, it is wool. And even after that, your black garbage can outside is just wool.
Yeah, it can be totally brutal.
Oh, especially midsummer when it's really hot. If you've just trimmed a brisket or something big, and oh, dude.
Yeah, I've done that where I didn't take it out the night of, and the next morning you like walk out in the kitchen and you're like, what is that smell?
What died? It's crazy how fast it just, I don't know if spoils the right word, I guess. But I guess it makes sense left at room temperature, but
Yeah.
that's probably, and again, I've kind of learned how to, first of all, I've learned more about like the butchering process, and so I like, kind of doing it. I finally invested in a good sharp knife so I don't hate my life the whole time.
Yeah.
And I've kind of learned those tricks, like you can't leave this in the garbage can overnight. You have to take it out and then maybe just avoid walking by the garbage can until the garbage man comes, because it can get pretty nasty, especially midsummer. So I think that's probably my first one, is just the trimmings, the raw meat, the process. If you're new to it, sometimes that can be a little bit gross.
Here's my pro tip.
Yeah.
Everyone's got like 1,000 Walmart like grocery sacks, Smith's grocery sacks
Yeah.
somewhere. I put one of those on the counter, and as I trim, I put my trimmings in that bag, and then take that straight outside.
And then tie it, and see, that's a good idea. I'll usually like there's meat or a tray or something that comes on, and so that's what I'll put it on, and then just kind of wrap it over itself. But that's not the same as sealing it up. I like that idea.
No, yeah, I put it in the grocery sack and then take it out.
Oh, that's a good idea. Take it out immediately.
Yeah. So
I support it.
nice. I'm gonna talk out of both sides of my mouth here.
I don't know what that means, but I'm excited.
You've never heard that phrase before?
I mean, I'm sure I have, but
It's where you say one thing and then you contradict yourself, arguing
think I have heard that then.
both sides of the argument.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah. So I love talking about barbecue. I love teaching barbecue. I love when people come to me and they're like, "Hey, I'm gonna do this," or "What's the best way to cook a steak?" Or like, I could talk about that stuff for days. Mm-hmm. I love it.
Yeah.
Love it. But when you barbecue as much as we do, or have a podcast about barbecuing, or
Guilty.
or sell pellets, or do whatever it is you do that makes you a subject matter expert, a SME.
Oh, I like that.
You like that?
Yeah.
That's a corporate term.
Nice.
I hate when I go to somebody's house and they're like, "Hey, John, will you come out and tell me what you think about this?" Or the worst is when a wife's like, "Hey, can you go help Bob out on the grill?"
Yeah.
Like, nope.
Yeah.
Like, this is Bob's castle.
Yes.
There is no way I'm going out and I am taking his tongs and double clicking them in front of him. And
Oh, dude, I'm glad you said. I hate when, and it's always awkward. Like it's like they'll say, "Do you want to go out and help him or whatever?" And it's like no,
no, that's his
let
thing.
him do his thing. And then it's almost like, oh, well, I don't know.
Yeah,
You seem like you're snubbing or whatever, but I mean,
yeah,
that's his thing.
There's no good answer to it. Even when it's the guy asking you, like, "Well, what do you think?" Like, what? And it's like, well, what do I think? Like, well, I never would have bought that cut of meat to begin with. Like,
well, that's the thing. The answer to a lot of those questions is, what do you like? What did you expect this to be?
yeah, what are you trying
Not
to achieve?
what I would do with it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not that I don't want to be helpful, because I really do. Like, I
we
love doing
we
that.
freaking talk about this for fun. Like, we really like it.
Yeah. But I hate going and being like, "Well, you want my help?" Like, the way I would have done this, like, it doesn't matter. Like, we're 6 hours past the way I would have done this.
Right.
So can I try and change or salvage this? Like, yeah, but then it's not what you wanted to do.
Right.
This is what I would have done. And like, that's part of the fun of being in barbecue is
Just doing what you want.
doing your own thing, and everyone's got their little bit of a unique flavor. And
Yeah.
like, I go to really nice restaurants and I don't like the way they cook my steak because I want it the way I do it and the way I like it. Doesn't mean it's a bad steak or it's a bad way to do it. It's just not. That's their art and this is my art. So
It's an interesting point.
yeah,
I like that.
I don't like trying to. I don't want to be the decision maker at someone else's party.
And like everybody to look to you, and then you almost feel like you emasculate the guy.
Yeah,
Like,
and that's the
no,
worst.
this
Like when
is his
people are
thing.
like, "What do you think, John?" Like everyone's looking at you like,
Right.
"Is it good? Can we eat it?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's awesome." Like someone took time out of their day and
Right.
life to do something nice for you. Like 100%. I support Bob.
Yeah.
By the way, Bob is a fictional person. Like I tried to pick a name of
I
nobody
like
I
that.
knew. And now that I think about it, I only know one person named Bob, and I don't ever talk to him. So
All characters in this story are purely consequential or whatever. I just watched Napoleon Dynamite, and that was one of the credits at the very end. It was like, this is a fictional story with fictional characters. Any relation to anybody is purely coincidental. And I thought, that's an interesting thing to put on credit. Like, it's almost like we know this guy's going to be like, that was me that you were making fun of.
hi, Lyle.
Or
Dude, you want to know what's brutal?
You
You want to know what's brutal? That movie is 20 years old.
Oh, I know, dude. My dad's in the credits of that movie. Have I told you that?
You have,
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
but I was like, oh, how has it been 20
Right?
years?
I just watched it with my boys. They loved it, and I was like, oh my gosh. I was a junior in high school when this came out, and it has been 20 years.
Yeah, so it came out my senior year, and New Year's Eve. I think I've told this story before. New Year's Eve we started watching it. This was the year that the girls all got sent to somebody else's house, and all of the guys stayed at the one girl's house. And, and we cleaned the fridge out. But we started watching Napoleon Dynamite at like, I don't know, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. You know, we turned it on, watched it. We were kind of playing games, watching it. Just kind of had it on repeat in the background. Girls left. We turned it back on. I think we watched it like 4 or 5 times that night. Awesome. And at like 3 o'clock in the morning, I've never laughed as hard as I did watching that movie for like the 5th time. But anyways, that's now our like New Year's Eve tradition. We watch it every year.
That's way cool. Yeah, I'm a big fan. I just remember I had change in my pocket when I was watching that in theaters, and I was literally rolling back laughing so hard that the change was falling out of my pocket because it was like jiggling. That was a good one. Did you talk out of both sides of your mouth, or did you only do one side?
No, I did it because
you said, we do this and we like talking about it.
I love helping on the planning side. Like I'll even like if you want me to be involved and like help you do it, like I will go shopping with you. I will talk about how I pick the meat, what I'm looking for, what I try and avoid. I'll coach you through trimming it. I'll coach you through seasoning it. I'll even do it side by side with you. But I hate coming in like in the third quarter and
and having people say, "Hey, fix this," or "Why don't you go help him?" Or I like that.
One, like you're setting me up to fail because I wasn't involved in the beginning and I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And two, I guess I should say not and two. Like it's either you're setting me up to fail or like I'm taking the guy's man card and I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah, I like that. So, another thing, and I'm guilty of this today, is I hate cleaning out the smoker. Like we've talked about it, we've given tutorials, and it's not too bad the once a year deep clean, but it's so messy, and I never think about it until I go to start my next cook. And I open it up and think, oh, crap, I forgot. For example, today, I was just throwing like some frozen teriyaki thighs on the smoker because I didn't want to do it in the oven.
Nice.
And I opened it up, and I had just cooked 2 pork butts in a row, and there was grease all down the foil. And I was like, it's a short cook. We'll just try it. And, I mean, sure enough, I crank it up. I just kind of followed the directions on the package as if it was an oven. So I cranked it up to 350, and I go out in a couple minutes, and it's like Demrin style, just like.
That's right where my mind went to.
So, and maybe I should have just let it go for a minute and then tried it. But anyway, that I don't like. I mean, I just did it a few weeks ago, and it's so greasy and so messy. And I'm on my deck with my Trex, and so it's getting on that. And, you can't really take those things into the sink and do it because they're big grates and stuff. So, anyway, I don't love cleaning the smoker, but I also testify that it has to be done.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't love it either. My brother-in-law, Corbin, actually is really, like, at least he claims to be dedicated. I've never seen him do it, but this is what he tells me that he's doing. And he's Haley's big brother, so I believe him. But he cleans his out religiously changes the foil after every cook.
See, I wish I was that disciplined, but by the time it's over,
I'm just like, put the kids to bed, I'm done.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so you're right. It does have to be done. I'm excited to try the Scrub Daddy, Barbecue Daddy, Grill Daddy, whatever it is, on the Traeger. Because, it's a pain in the butt to have to do, but I just grab a pair of gloves, I pull the grate out. If there's big chunks, like I'll hit it with the wire brush before I pull it out. Fold up the foil, vacuum it out. I've got a dedicated vacuum just for the grill.
I got one of those too now, so thanks for the pro tip.
Yeah. Throw the foil down and then put the grates back in. Like even after a pork shoulder or brisket or something like that, I don't really worry about getting the grates degreased. And I'm curious to see if how the Scrub Daddy does, especially at a lower temperature. Like it recommends getting it up to like 300 degrees. Mm-hmm. It's pretty rare that I crank my Traeger up over 300.
Yeah.
So,
and that's the other thing. Even if it's dirty, if you keep it at that 200, it's not. You don't have the creosote build up quite as bad and stuff.
Yeah.
But
I am kind of excited though. I finally, after all of these years, bought some of the Traeger grill cleaner.
Oh, okay.
So it's
Is it the citrusy stuff?
Yeah, it's all natural. It's a citrus, food safe.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to give it a try and see how it works. So I've never used it before.
Sweet.
So, but I'm trying to think. Do you have anything else on your list?
The only other thing I was going to say is, and we've talked about it before, sometimes when you've spent all day working on something like, for example, Irv, it was basically a 24-hour plus cook that we're...
Yeah. If you don't know who Irv is, go back. I think it was episode 2.
Yeah, I think so. We did a whole pig in the church parking lot, and we stayed there the entire time.
Yeah. We met at 3 a.m. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Was it 3 a.m.?
Yep. And we went home at like 8.
Yeah, we met at 3 a.m. to start a cook for a 6 o'clock dinner.
Yeah.
And like barely made it by the skin of our teeth.
And by the time it was time to eat,
like
I was good. Like I was like, nah. I mean,
yeah,
I'll eat a little bit, but I don't even care at this point.
I'm hot, I'm exhausted. I've been standing by a fire all day. And still, man, I still think back to that whole experience. And Danny Howard,
yep,
bless his heart. Like everyone's like, what can we do to help? What can we do? It was like, look, I don't have the emotional capacity to tell you what needs to be done
and be kind about it
without you walking away in tears. So we're good. We got it. Thanks.
Yep. Thanks.
No,
just go away.
Danny showed up. He just picked up a shovel and just started scooping up the sand.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, that sand ended up saving us.
Yeah.
We built a cinder block pit that we cooked in. And I don't remember who. Someone said something like, well, are you
I think it was your dad, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was worried about the heat of having the coals like right on the asphalt. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm not worried about it. And we ended up being on concrete anyways, which I was even less worried about it.
Right.
But we just poured some playground sand down in the bottom of it because what I hadn't anticipated was how much juice was going to come off of that pig as we cooked it. And
that would have been really gross, actually.
Yeah, it would have been super gross. And it would have been a beast to clean up. Like we would have been out there with pressure washers and degreaser for days trying to get this stuff done.
For sure.
But the sand just like soaked it all up, and
then we shoveled it up and put it in a barrel. And
and I don't know who threw that barrel away. I thought
you never went back and got it.
Well,
I thought about that, and then
it was hot, so we just left it there.
Mm-hmm.
And then it rained a couple of times, and I was like, "Well, geez, like this is It's 2/3 of a 55-gallon drum that is chocked full of wet sand. Like, this is going to weigh 500 pounds.
Yeah.
Like, it's got to dry out a little bit before we even try this. And it just, like, every time I thought about it, like, no one was there to help me, or, like, I trashed my shoulder. Like, whatever it was, it never worked, and it eventually just disappeared.
I forgot about that. I feel bad for just leaving that.
So
for
it's probably
you and somebody
Doyle
else
at the FM group. So sorry, Doyle.
Anyway, that kind of barbecue fatigue, I guess,
It's
of just a long cook. Like, we love it, and that's why we do it. But by the time it's time to eat, a lot of times I'm just like, I've been smelling this all day. It's been a lot of work. Yeah. I mean, I'll have a sandwich, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah, at that point,
load up.
I am eating because I need calories so I don't collapse, not because I'm excited about what I'm putting
it's
in
not
my
like,
mouth.
oh, it's so good. It's like, this has been a lot of work. I hope you all enjoy. And I guess you kind of get a little bit of a high of people saying, hey, this is really good. You know, you feel good about it. But at that point, at that point, eating it is kind of like, you know.
And we say that. I kind of want to do another one.
Oh, dude. It was so fun. And we've learned a lot. Like we said right after, we could have done this and gotten some sleep and traded off, and it would have been
we just
way more enjoyable.
like we didn't know what to expect, so we didn't want to have to like bring someone else in and look stupid in the process.
Right.
So we did it together the whole time. Like you legitimately do need two people there
Yeah. Flipping, for shoveling, for everything.
for all of it. You needed two people. But I think the other thing that we learned in that process was everything we knew about fire management was different.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's so much oxygen available
Right.
in the pit already. You're really controlling how much heat you're letting out. You're not
That's exactly
increasing the heat by adding oxygen to it.
Yeah, and we thought we knew. I mean, I've been cooking on drums. We both have a Weber. Like, we get charcoal, but that was a completely different animal.
And that damn sprinkler.
4 a.m. was it? And just right over top of us. And our pit that we had just got up to temp. Oh, man. Yeah, we should do another one. That was kind of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, I had something else and I've forgotten it already.
No,
So, oh well.
I think that's great.
Must not be that important.
Yeah.
Must
not
not
be something you hate that much.
Yeah, must not chafe me that bad.
Yeah.
So,
Sweet.
until next time, we're just gonna wrap it up.
That was a smooth transition. I'm Mike.
I'm John. We're Fat Guys with Smokers. Thanks for listening to the Fat Guys with Smokers podcast. Be sure to check us out on Instagram and Facebook. Leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Be sure to subscribe so you don't forget to tune in for even more nonsense from a couple of Fat Guys with Smokers.
Don't forget to like, subscribe.